Today, the Ontario Legislature sat and extended the state of emergency until June 2nd. To speak more about that, as well as other provincial responses to the COVID-19 crisis, I'm joined once again by our Member of Provincial Parliament, Jim McDonell. Welcome back, Jim.
Well, thank you, and it's great to be back. Lots going on, and as we move from this cold temperature into this warm weather, hopefully by the end of the week, things will be getting better.
Absolutely, and we're already starting to see that, but let's start first of all with the decision to extend the state of emergency.
Well, as we say, we're still lacking personal protection equipment. We have seen a flattening in the curve, so we're starting to open up the businesses. So we've taken the approach that we'll do it in a staged manner, where we open up businesses, sit back to review just how that impacts the numbers. If it's not a serious increase, and we'll look at increasing or at least holding where we are until things stabilize again, and then we'll move ahead. We want to make sure that we don't overdo it, because where we've seen other countries where they've had a second wave, and it means a longer downtime, and we would like to get things going as quickly but as safely as possible.
And when we talk about those numbers, we should mention that we reached a milestone this week, the first time since the end of March where the caseload was under 300.
Yeah, and we have the highest amount of testing in the country per capita. So we're getting less cases on more tests, which is really a very positive thing, because as you would expect, as you do more testing, your cases will go up. But we're seeing the percentage of people that are infected going down. So it's all good news, but of course, it's all with the current regulations that are in place. And as we loosen those regulations, we'll see how we move through the next few weeks.
And when we talk about those regulations and those gradual loosening of restrictions, last weekend we saw hardware stores be allowed to reopen. In the coming days, we'll see parks reopening. Let's talk about those decisions.
Well, I think people have gotten the message about social distancing. So if we can open up a scenario where that's possible, like we've been doing in our grocery stores, and we've been very successful, and we've seen numbers dropping, even though we see our grocery stores fully utilized, at least to the point of people going inside. So opening up to hardware stores or any store that had an outside entrance certainly was the next step. So we're, again, with the people practice this social distancing, and I think at least in our area, we've been fairly well served by our retailers that have enforced the separations. If we can do that on the hardware side and see a fairly stable number of cases, then we'll move to the next step. And there's lots of people I know you get questions on, certainly hairdressers and barbers, and there's a lot of the next step that are getting essential. We've opened up elective surgery. We're designating certain hospitals to do that. And people have been, holding off on surgeries, because doctors have been weighing what's more serious or what's more critical, keeping the hospital facilities available in case there is a spike, or and weighing that against the patient's needs. So that weighs on people and weighs on patients. And we want to make sure that, if you have an issue that where it's serious cancer treatments needing surgery, we get that done. So those have been open.
And finally, MPP, we know that right now the front line of this battle is really in our long-term care homes. Over half of cases right now are in long-term care, and the province announced this week the redeployment or potential redeployment of some workers from other sectors, such as EAs, into long-term care homes if needed.
Well, the staffing's really become an issue in long-term care. We have a number of locations where the current staff there had experienced the virus, which takes them out of the system for at least 2 weeks, if not more. And it's just we have many people that are not at work for mostly for good reasons. If you're looking at somebody at home that's has some immune deficiency, then it's very risky for you to go to work. So we're seeing a very short supply of people. So this is a great idea, allows people that maybe aren't working today to actually continue work, salaries be open up for the bonus pay that we're paying people in the frontline services, and it fills the need.
Excellent. On that note, MPP, thank you so much for joining me for this provincial update.
Well, thank you, and I just want to remind everybody to stay home, stay safe, and if you do have to go out, just practice your social distancing.